Well, Ed, before I did impressions, I worked as a singer. I worked a little bit. And agents and producers told me that I should find a gimmick in order to become successful.
Do you know all about the glamour and scandals of Golden Age Hollywood? Get ready to learn something surprising. Today, we will reveal one of Hollywood's best-kept secrets, the stars who amazed America while hiding their true identities. These actors did not just play roles on screen, they lived entire lives in character. They took significant risks to express themselves in ways that might shock even today's audiences. From vaudeville stages to the silver screen, these bold performers created such believable characters that audiences never suspected the truth behind their makeup, wigs, and costumes. Stay tuned because number 4 on our list might be the most shocking revelation in Hollywood history. A transformation so convincing that even industry insiders were fooled for decades. Before we start, I want to warn you, some of what you're about to learn challenges everything you thought you knew about Hollywood's golden age, studio manipulation, and incredible deception. Are you ready? Let's uncover Hollywood's hidden history. Billy Tipton. Here's a remarkable story about gender identity in entertainment history. Billy Tipton was a respected jazz musician who played piano and saxophone from the 1930s to the 1970s. He married several times, adopted 3 sons, and led a seemingly ordinary life as a moderately successful musician. It was only after he died in 1980 at the age of 74 that the world found out Billy was assigned female at birth. He lived his entire adult life as a man, and none of his wives, children, or fellow musicians knew his birth sex. His story is one of the most complete and successful gender transitions in American entertainment history. Born Dorothy Lucille Tipton in Oklahoma in 1914, Billy started binding his chest and presenting as male in the 1930s. At first, he may have done this for better job opportunities as a male musician, but it quickly became clear that this was also about his identity. Tipton's career included playing with dance bands and eventually leading the Billy Tipton Trio. What makes Tipton's story stand out is how well he maintained his male identity in private life. He had several long-term relationships with women, including multiple marriages, and his partners later said they had no idea about his birth sex. To keep this private, Tipton explained he had an injury that required him to bind his chest and keep it covered. Tipton's story challenges our views on gender identity. While other musicians performed different gender identities on stage but lived as their birth gender off stage, Tipton's change was permanent, not just an act, but his true identity. In many ways, Tipton defies a typical category of male-born celebrities presenting as female. However, his extraordinary life deserves recognition as perhaps the most successful crossing of gender boundaries in entertainment history. His story encourages us to rethink what we believe about gender identity and the possibility of passing in close personal relationships. T.C. Jones. As Hollywood entered the conservative 1950s, female impersonation mostly disappeared from mainstream entertainment. T.C. Jones changed that with a theatrical style that found surprising acceptance during the Eisenhower and McCarthy era. Born in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Jones raised female impersonation from simple comedy to serious theater. What made Jones different was his focus on celebrity impressions instead of generic female characters. His portrayals of stars like Tallulah Bankhead, Bette Davis, and Katharine Hepburn were not just exaggerated imitations. They were detailed studies that captured their looks, mannerisms, voices, and personalities. In the conservative 1950s, Jones achieved mainstream success with his female impersonation act. His one-person show, Mask and Gown, opened in Los Angeles in 1957 and moved to Broadway the following year due to its success. Critics praised his performances as serious acting, comparing his character changes to those of well-known character actors. Unlike earlier female impersonators who performed in nightclubs or vaudeville, Jones appeared on popular television shows like The Ed Sullivan Show and What's My Line. He even acted in the 1968 film Funny Girl with Barbra Streisand. Although his role was small, being part of a major film was a big step for female impersonators at a time when most were still excluded from mainstream cinema. Jones's success was especially notable for its time. The 1950s were marked by strict gender roles and pressure to fit traditional ideas of masculinity and femininity. In this context, Jones's acceptance and acclaim for gender-crossing performances highlight his talent and innovative approach to his material. Jones's legacy is how he connected the old vaudeville style of female impersonation with today's understanding of drag as an art form. By focusing on theatrical skill and celebrity impersonation instead of just gender disguise, he created a model for future performers. This influence can be seen in later artists like Craig Russell, Charles Pierce, and today's drag performers. Jim Bailey. As television became the primary source of entertainment in America during the 1960s and 1970s, Jim Bailey became one of the most successful female impersonators of that time. His performances went beyond simple impersonation. He recreated specific celebrities in a way that even industry experts found convincing. Bailey's most famous impersonation was of Judy Garland. He performed so accurately that Garland's daughter, Liza Minnelli, approved and became a friend and supporter. Bailey copied Garland's voice and mannerisms so well that even experts sometimes had trouble telling them apart in audio formats. His portrayal of Judy Garland was not just about looks and voice, it also captured the emotional depth that made Garland compelling. The same was true for his other well-known impressions, including Barbra Streisand and Peggy Lee. Bailey achieved a high level of mainstream television exposure for a female impersonator. He appeared on major shows like The Ed Sullivan Show, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, and The Carol Burnett Show. These top-rated programs brought his talent into millions of homes. His success in an era that often resisted gender nonconformity came from how he approached his performances. He presented them as character acting rather than drag, focusing on the artistic and technical skills involved in his transformations. This approach made his act more acceptable to mainstream audiences and industry leaders who were still uncomfortable with clear challenges to gender norms. Danny LaRue. Danny LaRue was one of the most successful female impersonators of the 20th century, especially in Britain. Born Daniel Patrick Carroll in Ireland, LaRue became a famous entertainer known for his extravagant and glamorous style. He achieved popularity and financial success that many American impersonators did not. His performances featured lavish costumes and high production values similar to major Broadway shows. The gowns he wore, often designed by top fashion designers, could cost tens of thousands of pounds and included elaborate decorations that required him to be physically strong just to wear them. Unlike many female impersonators who worked mainly in small venues, LaRue owned his own nightclub, Danny's, in London's West End. This venue attracted celebrities and even royalty, such as Princess Margaret, who was a fan of his work and helped legitimize the art form. LaRue also broke new ground on British television by appearing regularly on mainstream programs and even hosting his TV specials, which was unusual. His Christmas specials became a holiday tradition for many families, bringing female impersonation into British homes. LaRue's mainstream success came from his approach to performing. He called himself a comic in a frock instead of a female impersonator, presenting his acts as comedy rather than simply imitating women. He also kept a clear distinction between his stage persona and his everyday life by appearing in interviews as himself, which helped show that his performances were theatrical. LaRue's legacy is how he brought female impersonation into popular entertainment. By combining impressive production, clean humor, and careful image management, he showed how gender-crossing performances could achieve success without being limited to specialized or underground venues. Craig Russell. In the 1970s, Craig Russell became a well-known female impersonator. His performances helped connect traditional female impersonation with modern drag shows. Born in Toronto, Russell created an act that featured impressive impressions of Hollywood's greatest female stars, making celebrity impersonation an art form. What set Russell apart was his deep understanding of his subjects. He didn't just mimic their looks, he studied films, interviews, and recordings to capture their unique voices, mannerisms, and personalities. This thorough approach gave his performances more depth than simple copying. Russell gained international fame for his leading role in the 1907 film Outrageous. This film was one of the first to have a drag performer as the main character. Critics praised the movie, especially Russell's performance, which included many celebrity impressions in a dramatic story. Unlike many performers before him, Russell was open about his sexuality during a time when this could hurt an entertainment career. His honesty helped promote a more genuine discussion of female impersonation in mainstream culture. Russell was known for his incredible versatility. He could convincingly impersonate over 24 female celebrities, often switching between them quickly in one performance. Each change involved costume changes and shifts in body language, voice, and emotions. Russell's work was significant because it respected the stars of old Hollywood while introducing them to new audiences. For many viewers in the 1970s and 1980s, Russell's impressions of stars like Tallulah Bankhead or Carol Channing were their first encounter with these legends, bridging the gap between classic Hollywood and modern viewers. Divine. No list of important gender non-conforming performers would be complete without Divine, a groundbreaking drag performer who challenged the norms of beauty and propriety in American culture. Born Harris Glenn Milstead in Baltimore, Divine created an outrageous persona that changed how people viewed female impersonation. Unlike other female impersonators who aimed to look feminine or impersonate celebrities, Divine embraced excess. With his large frame, shaved eyebrows, and bold makeup, Divine didn't try to pass as female. He created a larger-than-life persona that highlighted the fake nature of gender. Divine worked with filmmaker John Waters to create some of the most shocking and influential cult films of the 1970s. Movies like Pink Flamingos, Female Trouble, and Polyester featured Divine in performances that pushed boundaries. These performances did not celebrate traditional femininity, but aimed to break it down, showing that gender is a social construct. Divine was revolutionary because he used his body to comment on society. At a time when people expected female impersonators to be pretty and polite, Divine created a drag persona that was grotesque and aggressive. This challenged not only gender norms, but also society's expectations about bodies and behavior. Divine's influence reached mainstream culture, especially through his role in Waters' later film Hairspray. As Edna, Tracy Turnblad's mother, Divine created a character that was both outrageous and relatable, helping to make drag performances more accepted by general audiences. Beyond film, Divine also found success out in music. His dance hits like You Think You're a Man and I'm So Beautiful became popular in clubs during the early 1980s. These performances brought his unique presence to audiences who might not have seen his films, leading to greater cultural impact. Divine passed away in 1980 as Hairspray gained him a wider audience. His death cut short a career that was still growing. If he had lived, he likely would have taken advantage of Hairspray's success, potentially bringing his innovative approach to gender performance to even more people. Charles Pierce. Charles Pierce is often regarded as the most skilled and crucial female impersonator of the 20th century. Born in Watertown, New York, he created an act that combined the technical skills of earlier impersonators with emotional depth and cultural insights. Pierce's impressions of celebrities were not just visual or vocal copies. They were complete character studies that captured the essence of Hollywood's famous female stars. His performances included iconic figures like Bette Davis, Joan Crawford, Tallulah Bankhead, and Katharine Hepburn, each brought to life with great accuracy and insight. What made Pierce unique was his technique. He convincingly portrayed female characters without changing costumes or using a lot of makeup. Often he wore a simple black dress and added a few accessories, a cigarette holder for Bankhead or a scarf for Hepburn. He transformed himself through his performance skills, altering his posture, voice, and facial expressions to embody these well-known women. Pierce's performances also provided social commentary. He explored the difference between classic Hollywood actresses' public and private lives, adding depth to his entertainment. This approach raised his work from simple performance to a form of art, giving audiences valuable insights into celebrity culture and gender roles. Unlike many female impersonators who lip-synced, Pierce performed live dialogue and singing, demonstrating exceptional vocal control and range. His skills earned him respect from critics who might have otherwise dismissed female impersonation as a novelty. Despite performing when society was often unwelcoming to gender nonconformity, Pierce found considerable success. He appeared at prestigious venues like the Coconut Grove in Los Angeles and the Plaza Hotel's Persian Room in New York, often with mainstream cabaret stars, and earned similar pay and recognition. Pierce is critical because he connected different eras and styles of female impersonation. His work honored the precision and glamour of early entertainers like Julian Eltinge, while integrating the psychological insight and social commentary hallmarks of more modern drag performance. This wraps up our exploration of Hollywood's boundary-breaking performers. From Julian Eltinge's impressive acts to Divine's bold statements, These artists challenged and shaped American culture in ways we still uncover today. If you enjoyed this look into history, please subscribe and turn on notifications for our next deep dive. What did you think of today's stories? Were any of them surprising? Please share your thoughts in the comments below or suggest other hidden Hollywood histories you'd like us to cover. Your input helps us bring these forgotten stories to light. Thank you for watching. And remember, some of the most interesting parts of history often don't appear in the official record.